The Alps Hockey League was founded in the year 2016 and includes teams from Italy, Austria and Slovenia. It resulted from a very common problem in Europe, where there is not enough teams in one country to form a competitive league. The Alps Hockey League can be considered one step below the ABL and is very similar in its structure. It also has a very similar point system as in the ABL, where there is not a specified amount of imports, but it's also depending on their age. Nevertheless, in Italy they decided to max out on 4 imports. In recent years, there's also some foreign teams from the ABL teams joining the league, such as Salzburg, Vienna, Klagenfurt and Linz. This was heavily discussed also by Slovenian and Italian teams, as it kind of drags down the level of the league. The amazing location of the teams that play in the Alps Hockey League is a big selling point for import players looking to go to this league, because they play and live in some of the best places in Europe. Also on the hockey side, it's a very good stepping stone to higher leagues such as the ABL, the L2 and also the Swiss League, as many players move on to play in that league. Unfortunately, for local players it's not really a stepping stone, as most players tend to play their whole career in the Alps Hockey League, because the transactions between the ABL and the Alps are not as frequent as we see in Switzerland, Sweden, Finland and so on. The attendance is of 650 people per game, but it's actually a little bit higher than the official number, because this number is dragged down by the number of the farm teams, which usually have no attendance at all. The league is a semi-professional league, as there's an average of half the team having a job and half the team not. Our next interview is with Jake Smith. Jake is a Canadian hockey player that turned pro after his career in the OHL. He went straight over to Europe and played for Bolzano in the ABL League. More recently, he's played in the Alps Hockey League, and this is the league we're going to ask him about today. Hi Jake, thanks for being here today with us.
No, thanks for having me. My pleasure.
Yeah, so the first question will be, can you explain your hockey career up to the point you reached the Alps Hockey League?
Yeah, I've been around a lot playing hockey. I started obviously playing minor hockey here in Toronto, and from Toronto, played minor hockey here. Then eventually got drafted to the OHL. Played 4 years in the OHL for Brampton and North Bay Battalion. After that, I went right over to Europe, went to Bolzano, played in Bolzano and the EBL for 3 years, and then I ended up in Gardena. It's just Italy's part of the world that I like, and that's pretty much it.
And how come you found Italy? Did you always want to come to Italy, or did your agent advise you to do so?
Yeah, so for some reason there was just something, a part of me that really wanted to get my Italian passport when I was younger. So I ended up getting that when I was first or second year in the OHL. I wanted to get my Italian passport. So once I had that, I got into contact with an agent, and he found out that I had this Italian passport, and he's like, you know what, that could be a great opportunity for you to go over and play in Italy. There's really good hockey there. So I think you should take advantage of that. And he at the end of my overage season in the OHL, I was thinking about going to school, and then he contacted me with an opportunity to go overseas and play, and that was a pretty awesome opportunity I couldn't give up.
So after your first impression of pro hockey in Europe in the ABL, what's your first impression about the European lifestyle and just daily life in Europe?
It's a really good league. It's people, I think, have just like an initial thought that, oh, there's hockey in Italy, it's not going to be the greatest when they hear about it from over in North America. But it's completely wrong. The hockey's good hockey, everybody can play. It's really good. The speed's there. I think the biggest difference between the EBL and the Alps Hockey League is the amount of imports. In the ABL you get, depending if you have passport guys, you can get up to 10 imports per team. So it gets pretty crazy. When you have 10 imports, 10 Canadians adding to the team or wherever they're from, they're going to be good players, and that just brings the level of the league up big time. And I mean, when you're in the Alps League, there's only 4 imports per team, so that's a big difference there. But I think, like, overall, like, there wasn't a big change for me personally moving leagues. And I think lifestyle-wise, it might be a little bit less on the professional side with some teams, just because a lot of the salaries aren't there, the money's not as high as it would be in some of the higher leagues, right? And I think that, I mean, well, that's just how it's going to be. And so guys are working, so the practice are going to be a little more in the evening. There'll be some ice sessions for the imports in the mornings, but overall lifestyle, like, it's unreal. Like, you play, I think it's 45 games or something like that, and I mean, you're never on the road in the Alps League. Like, I mean, you would just have day trips, so you're always sleeping in your own bed at night, and that's it. Like, you get to the rink, you work hard, but other than that, you get to do whatever you want to do, and you have a lot of time off to do that stuff.
So how did you like the town or the city you were in? I mean, you also had the girlfriend with you, right? So how did she like the lifestyle to be here in Europe, whereas North America, she might be closer to home?
It's awesome. It's so beautiful in northern Italy. Like, you can't beat it. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world, especially in Gardena. There's cities all around. I mean, you're an hour from Innsbruck, you're 45 minutes from Bolzano, like all these big cities. You're an hour and a half from Lake Garda, like some of those beautiful places in the world. You're right there, and you get so much time off that you're able to go visit all these places all the time. I mean, if you like to snowboard or ski, Val Gardena is the best place in the world to do it. I mean, mainly for players, it's more after the season, but my wife loved it. She loved it there. She got to go snowboarding during the season. There's a ton of hiking and lifestyle stuff that you can do, and just to stay active, and just, there's so many ways to enjoy life, and the laid-back lifestyle there is just unbelievable.
So now you also had both experiences as a goaltender. You first were a second-string goaltender for Bolzano in the Ebel, which is a little bit higher than the Alps, and now you're a starter and key player for Gardena in the AlpsHL League. What would you advise to an import player? Is it better to go to one of the higher leagues just to build up your curriculum, or start a little bit lower but then be a key player?
I mean, it depends what you're really looking for. I think most imports that are coming over are going to try and be the key player and be the guy that can try and do that. I mean, I think a lot of those imports are coming over from, say, maybe playing pro in North America too. So I think they're maybe used to not being such key players. That's why they're coming over to Europe, right? So I think you want to look for being a key player. The fans and everybody really, they all love the imports. They all love the guys that come in and really help the team. So I think you want to go for a situation that is like that. I mean, my situation, it was tough not playing as much when I was in Bolzano. It was hard. It was a learning experience, but I was young, so everybody has to go through it when they're young. So it's good. But I think now I'm going to try and always make sure I'm in a position where I can be the key player, and I think that's what most imports should do.
So what would your advice be to a young hockey player in North America looking to turn pro in Europe?
My advice would definitely just be go with the flow. Like, I mean, you can't sweat the little things. I mean, there's always going to be something, whether it's your internet goes out for a couple weeks and that's just how it's going to be. Like, you don't have internet for a bit, or just whatever. You're not going to get as many sticks as you like, or something like that. There's always going to be a little something. But I mean, if you look at the big picture, look where you are. You're in Europe. You're living an amazing lifestyle. You're probably getting paid good money. Just don't sweat the little things that don't actually matter in the long run, because I've seen guys that miss their North American fast food, they miss Chipotle, they miss all these places that they can't go to, and you can't get that stuff really in Europe. But I mean, at the end of the day, go with the flow and just take life as it happens.
Now, you're still young and you've got a lot of hockey in front of you. But do you have any plans of what you're going to do after hockey?
After my career, that's a tricky one. I've been thinking a lot about it. and I think I really want to become a firefighter back home in Canada here. I think that would be a good job. Kind of makes you stay in that team atmosphere, and you get to stay in shape too. I would like to maybe be a goalie coach, like part-time too, for a junior team. But yeah, I don't know. There's so many different things. Like even if I was thinking about doing some more schooling on nutrition and on just different certifications in the health field, and just kind of being one of those guys that can almost try and do it all. I don't know. I got so much time to learn. Well, I have so much time, I hope, before that happens. So hopefully I have a concrete plan when I'm finally done.
Yeah, so that was it, Jake. Thank you very much for being here today.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for having me.